Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. The movie rec starts in Mexico, and we currently see a young reporter named Angela, and with her is her cameraman, Pablo. Right now, they're at the fire station of a certain city in Mexico. Angela and Pablo are filming an episode for a show called When We Sleep at Night. In short, the idea of the show is that Angela and her cameraman, Pablo, spend a night with people who work jobs that are only active at night, like firefighters, for example. They spend a whole day with them and film everything that happens in detail and so on. Anyway, Angela is currently filming with the head of the fire station, who keeps giving her lots of information about the place, the nature of the work, and so on. By the way, he even lets her try on the firefighter's uniform. After that, the chief takes Angela and Pablo and shows them the place where all the firefighters who work at the station are gathered, and introduces Angela to two of them named Alex and Manu. Angela and Pablo are supposed to spend today with Alex and Manu. After a bit, an emergency call comes to the station, and we find out it's from a building where the residents say they suddenly heard screaming on a certain floor. Alex and Manu immediately go to check it out, and Angela and Pablo go with them to film everything that happens. After a while, they all arrive at the building and enter to find all the residents gathered in the lobby. One of the residents, named Mari, is the one who called, and she tells everyone that there's a woman named Conchi on one of the floors who has been screaming and making strange noises, so they reported it. At that moment, the police chief arrives with his assistant, Officer Sergio, to see what's going on. The police chief talks to Manu and Alex, telling them they should go check on the woman, and they agree. So, the police chief, Sergio, Manu, Alex, Angela, and Pablo all go up to see what's happening. They reach Conchi's apartment, and when they enter, they suddenly find Conchi in front of them. But she's not normal at all. She's covered in blood, looks unnatural, and isn't speaking. She seems like a zombie. The police chief tries to talk to her and calm her down, but Conchi doesn't respond to any of it. Without warning, she attacks the police chief and keeps biting him. Everyone quickly pulls the chief away from Conchi and tries to treat him. They leave Alex with Conchi to keep an eye on her so she doesn't do anything else bad. After that, everyone takes the police chief down to the building entrance, intending to get him out for treatment. But here's the problem. They all find that the police have surrounded the building from all sides, not letting anyone in or out. Chaos breaks out among those who want to leave by any means, like Mari, who wants to get her daughter Jennifer's medicine from her husband outside, but he can't come in. As for the police chief, luckily there's a doctor in the building named Miguel who tries to treat him. Amid all this, something happens that silences everyone. Suddenly, Alex, who was with Conchi, is thrown down in front of them from above. Everyone is shocked and realizes that Conchi did this, so they all decide to go up and stop her. Officer Sergio, Manu, Angela, and Pablo go up to Conchi's apartment, and without warning, Conchi attacks them. So Officer Sergio is forced to shoot her several times, finally killing her. After that, Sergio and everyone else try to get out of the building by any means before the situation gets worse, but every exit is surrounded by police who don't let anyone out. After a while, everyone reaches Mrs. Conchi's apartment and find Jennifer in front of them, who immediately attacks Officer Sergio and starts biting him. On top of all this, Conchi appears to everyone, not dead at all, so everyone runs away except Manu, who hits Conchi and actually kills her this time. He then escapes with Angela and Pablo, along with the health official, and they all go down to the ground floor where Mari is still tied up. They find that Miguel, who is now a zombie, is trying to open the room he's in to attack everyone. At the same time, everyone wants to untie Mari, so Miguel, the police chief, and Alex don't come and bite her, turning her into a zombie too. But the health official doesn't have the key because Sergio has it. So he decides to go kill Sergio and get the key, leaving everyone else. Miguel, the police chief, and Alex are about to open the door to their room, so Manu, Angela, and Pablo immediately escape and leave Mari, who is attacked by Miguel, the police chief, and Alex. After that, Manu, Angela, and Pablo go and hide in Caesar's apartment, where he tells them that the health official is hiding there too. Manu goes to confront him because he's the reason for what happened to Mari, but finds that the health official has been bitten and will turn into a zombie, so he locks himself in a room so he doesn't hurt anyone. After that, Caesar, Manu, and Angela talk, and Caesar tells them that under the textile workshop in the basement, they can escape through the area's sewer and leave the building without anyone noticing. Caesar tells them that the basement key is in the building manager's apartment, but before he tells them who the manager is, the health official manages to break out of the room and attacks Cesar. Angela, Pablo, and Manu quickly escape, but they don't know where the manager's apartment is. Angela says they need to go to the building entrance and check the mailboxes to find the manager's apartment. Manu agrees, and they go down. On the way, they are attacked by the Chinese man, who has turned into a zombie, but Manu manages to break his neck and kill him. They reach the building entrance, check the mailboxes, and find out which apartment is the manager's. They decide to go there to get the basement key and escape. Mari wakes up as a zombie and tries to attack them, but everyone manages to avoid her because she's still handcuffed. Not long after all this, everyone is heading up to the manager's apartment, but they find a zombie in front of them them who attacks Manu. And after that, he finishes him off, and they continue talking about them, but then they encounter the Chinese woman, who turns out to be a zombie as well. Manu attacks her and keeps fighting with her, while Angela and Pablo leave Manu and go up to the building manager's apartment. They start searching the place for the basement keys. After searching for a long time, Angela finds a bunch of keys and takes them all. Angela and Pablo are about to go down to the basement to escape from there, but as they're going down, they find that Manu has turned into a zombie, and he's got a bunch of zombies with him. They come out to attack them, so instead of continuing their way down, Angela and Pablo are forced to run from the zombies and head upstairs. They reach the apartment on the top floor, which we already know belongs to an owner who emigrated to Madrid. Anyway, Angela keeps trying to open the apartment with the keys she has until one of them actually opens the door. They go inside, but at that moment, Pablo's camera light stops working, so Pablo keeps trying to fix it until he succeeds. Both of them start looking around the apartment, and they find the place full of pictures and lots of torn newspaper clippings, all hanging on the walls. So what are all these papers, news stories, and pictures about exactly? In short, they're about a case called the Portuguese girl case. This girl was being treated in the Vatican for demonic possession, showing strange symptoms like being a zombie or something close to a zombie. They also find some recordings in the apartment, so they play them. In these recordings, someone is talking, saying that he read about the Portuguese girl's case and found out it wasn't possession, but rather a plague that turned her into a zombie. That's why this person started conducting experiments in his apartment to turn people into zombies. At this point, they understand everything. They realize that the owner of this apartment was secretly living here, not in Madrid, and that this stranger learned about the Portuguese girl and realized what she had wasn't possession, but a plague that turned her into a zombie. So he decided to experiment on people here and turn them into zombies. That's how the disease spread throughout the building and reached Max the dog, who then caused everyone else to become zombies. But the origin of the outbreak was here in this strange and terrifying apartment from the very beginning. Now, Pablo and Angela find a hatch in the ceiling of the apartment. They open it, and Pablo climbs up to see what's inside. He finds a strange-looking child who has turned into a zombie and is about to attack him. Of course, Pablo comes down quickly, closes the hatch, and he and Angela are happy the danger is over. But the danger isn't really over as they thought, because both of them are suddenly confronted by a terrifying and strange-looking woman who has also turned into a zombie. Honestly, we don't know if this woman is the Portuguese girl or just someone the madman living here experimented on. But the important thing is that she's a zombie and she attacks Pablo, brutally eating him. When she's done, she suddenly attacks Angela, who has no chance to escape, and kills her too. Literally, almost everyone in the building is now dead, including Angela and Pablo. But the story isn't over yet because this is just the beginning. So let me continue. Not long after all this, we finally move outside the building and find ourselves in a police car. We see a group of special forces named Matros and Lara, along with their leader and a fourth officer who is currently filming them, named Rosso. So where are the leader Matros, Rosso, and Lara going? Simply put, the four of them arrive at the building where Angela and everyone else were, the same building where our entire story started. They meet a man who tells them he's from the health department and that a doctor from their team entered the building a while ago, but they lost contact with him. He also tells them that another doctor named Owen will enter the building to collect blood samples so they can study the virus, and that the leader, Lara, Matros, and Rosso should go in with him and secure the area. Everyone agrees with the man's instructions, and they take the doctor named Owen and enter the building. Meanwhile, a man shows up and we learn he is Mari's husband. He asks to go in with them to check on Mary and Jennifer, but nobody takes him with them. The five of them enter the building, and as soon as they do, they find blood everywhere in the entrance and the handcuffs that Mari was tied with. But none of that matters to them now. Owen tells them they need to go up to the top floor of the building, the same floor where Angela and Pablo died when they encountered the strange-looking girl, whom we suspected might be the Portuguese girl. Anyway, they go up to that apartment and see the investigations that were done about the Portuguese girl and so on. Owen keeps telling them to film and record everything, since all of it will be important. And although everyone is surprised, they do as Owen says. After a while, they hear noises coming from another floor in the building, so they go to that floor and enter an apartment where they find a zombie in front of them. The zombie attacks Matros and turns him into a zombie in seconds, but then something even stranger happens. Matros can't do anything to anyone because Owen starts reciting spells and verses from the Bible. Because of what Owen does, Matros stops and doesn't harm anyone. So they lock Matros in a room, and Owen puts some kind of talisman in the room so Matros stays calm and doesn't think of hurting anyone else. What happened was really strange, and just like you, the leader Lara and Rosso are also surprised. They ask Owen what exactly he's doing. At this point, Owen tells them he needs to reveal the whole truth so they can understand everything just like he does. He starts telling them the following. First, he tells them he's not a doctor, nor is he from the health department or any of that nonsense. He tells them he's a priest from the Vatican, and that the whole story started when a girl, the Portuguese girl by the way, was possessed by a powerful demon who kills anyone in front of him without hesitation. The The Portuguese girl went to the Vatican to be treated, and there they realized that her demonic possession was like a plague that could spread and infect others, turning them into zombies. Owen tells them that at the time, the Vatican decided to do something a bit strange. They sent a department called Beta to this specific building, along with the Portuguese girl, and with him is a group of children who were affected because of the same thing. You could say the Portuguese girl was also affected or infected by the same epidemic. The important thing is, the whole point of the story is that he needs to find a solution to all this and get rid of the demonic possession that is causing the epidemic. Supposedly, they brought Beta here specifically because the place is easy to control and there's no way things could get out of hand in such a remote location. He also tells them that the key to stopping the possession and thus the epidemic is to take blood from the Portuguese girl and make an antidote from it. But Beta couldn't do that because the demon possessing the Portuguese girl got out of control, killed Beta, and then started spreading the possession throughout the whole building. Now, they've come here to take samples of the Portuguese girl's blood and make a cure from it. He also tells them clearly that he is the one in charge of the mission, and he'll tell them what to do and what not to do, and no one can leave unless Owen gives the order. By the way, Owen is always in contact with the forces outside the building through a wireless device. They identify him by his voice, and only his voice, and he must be the one to give the order for anyone to leave. If they try to leave on their own, the police outside will think they're infected with the possession or the epidemic and will kill them immediately. This means the commander Laura and Russo are now stuck with Owen and must get the Portuguese girl's blood, or they won't get out of here. The Portuguese girl is the same terrifying girl who killed Angela and Pablo, the ones we didn't even know who she was. As for the child who was in a secret place in Beta's house and attacked Pablo and Angela, he is one of the children who got infected with the possession or the epidemic, and Beta was trying to treat them. Now we know all the secrets from before. Anyway, everyone is thinking now and communicating, certain that the Portuguese girl's blood sample must be in the secret place where Beta was experimenting on the children to cure them from the possession or epidemic. So everyone heads to the secret place above Beta's apartment to get the blood sample. But the problem is, as soon as they open the ceiling door, a corpse falls out. And yes, it's Beta's corpse. Then, a child who has turned into a zombie attacks them, but they quickly finish him off. After that, they go to the secret place and find many children locked in iron cages, all turned into zombies. They were all affected and got the epidemic, and Beta was trying to treat them. Anyway, they managed to get the Portuguese girl's blood sample, take it, and go to a safe place. Owen takes part of the blood sample and gives the rest to the commander. Owen then performs a ritual to check if this is really the Portuguese girl's blood, and when he does his ritual, the blood catches fire. That's when Owen knows this is the required blood, and he's happy they got it and can leave. But his happiness doesn't last because the blood sample with the commander burns up. What a loss. They had a sample, and it's gone. Owen gets very angry and tells them they'll search again until they find a new blood sample from the Portuguese girl. The problem is, as they're leaving to search, suddenly a zombie appears in front of them. And not just any zombie, it's Mary's husband, the one I told you wanted to enter the building to check on his wife and daughter. Now we know how he got in. Anyway, they kill him, and at that moment, they spot 4 people in the building. 2 young men, a girl, and a firefighter named Jose. Of course, their presence here is forbidden, so they run from the commander and his group. We'll later find out how these 4 got into the building. After a while, something totally unexpected happens. A lot of zombies come at everyone, so they hide. The commander, Owen, and Russo hide in one place, and Laura hides somewhere else. But the problem is, the apartment Laura is in is full of zombies. Laura keeps hiding from them, but finds no escape, realizes he's doomed, pulls out his gun, shoots himself, and ends his suffering before the zombies get him. On the other side, we see the commander, Owen, and Russo enter an apartment to hide. Suddenly, the girl Jennifer appears, but the commander manages to restrain her. Owen comes to her and tells her he knows the demon spreading the epidemic has possessed her and asks her where it is. But the demon has a strong hold on Jennifer, so she can't say anything and tries to attack everyone until they're forced to kill her. For now, they are safe. Now something stranger than fiction happens. They see that Matros's camera, who is already dead, turns on, and 3 young people appear on it. These are the same young people they saw earlier in the building. Now comes the important question. How did these 3 get into the building, and what are they doing here? To answer this, we go back in time just a little, about an hour, not more. In a building across from ours, we see 3 young people, a boy named Yuri, his sister Mary, and their friend Tito. Tito has a camera and is filming Mary and Yuri, who are playing with a doll, trying to blow it up with fireworks and send it flying off the building they're on. But their game fails, and the doll doesn't fly anywhere. It doesn't fly In the middle of all this, the officers come and tell them they have to get off the building. These officers were supposed to be snipers on the rooftops to shoot anyone who came out of the main building, the one with the epidemic. Tito, Mary, and Yuri actually get down from the building and end up right in front of our main building. They see the police officers, Russo, Laura, Matros, the commander, and Owen, entering the building, since at that time they were just going in. As I said, we're looking at the past now. Tito, Mary, and Yuri don't understand what's happening, but at the same time, they see Mary's husband talking to a firefighter named Jose. They agree to enter the building through the sewer, since Jose wants to see his friends Alex and Manu, and Mary's husband wants to reach Mary and Jennifer. So, Yuri, Tito, and Mary figure out how to enter the building and go through the sewer. As soon as they enter, they find themselves in the weaving workshop, and they find a gun like that. There were different kinds of people here, so Tito takes this gun and accidentally fires a shot, and at the sound of the shot, Jose and Mary's husband, who have just entered the building, come in. Jose sees them and scolds them for coming here when they're just kids and tells them they have to leave, so he takes them to the door that will take them back to the drain to get out. But they find that the door is now closed because the police have locked the place too, so no one can enter or leave. Of course, everyone is shocked. And now Jose tells Mary, Yuri, and Tito that they have to stay with him here so nothing bad happens to any of them. He takes them all, including Mary's husband, to look for Mary and Jennifer. They go up to Mary's apartment and find Mary there, but she attacks her husband and bites him. During all this, they struggle with her until they manage to light some fireworks and hit her with them, so she leaves the area. But now they see that Mary's husband has been bitten and is about to turn, so they leave him and move on. They enter another apartment to escape, but when they approach the windows, the police suddenly fire at them, so they hide and leave the apartment. On their way, they stand on the stairs and see the commander Owen and Russo by chance, as we saw before. They fear being shot at, so they hide from them too. Then they enter the apartment where Matros was, and at that moment, they find the helmet with Matros's camera, so they keep it. Commander Owen and Russo manage to see them through Matros's camera, but that's not the important part now. The important thing is that everyone is currently in the apartment where Matros is locked up by Owen's spell, as we mentioned before. Also, everyone hears Matros's voice behind the room where he's locked up, so they think he needs help and open the door. Suddenly, Matros attacks them like a madman and manages to grab Kuzai and keeps biting him. At that moment, Mary grabs the gun and tries to shoot Matros, but accidentally shoots Kuzai and kills him. Then Matros attacks her, but she kills him too. Finally, Commander Owen and Russo arrive. Of course, they start yelling at them for everything they've done from the beginning. But before anything else happens, they all see that Yuri has been bitten and will turn into a zombie. So they restrain him and tie him up. Before anyone does anything else, they all suddenly see something in front of them they never expected because they find Angela in front of them. And we learn here that she didn't die. Or maybe she did, but the truth is we don't know how that happened yet. As usual, everything will become clear later. Anyway, Angela introduces herself and says she is the only survivor in the building, so they all decide to keep her with them for safety. Then Owen comes in and interrogates Yuri because he knows that the devil causing all of this is inside his body. Owen asks where the Portuguese girl is, but Yuri doesn't answer. Instead, Angela replies and tells them she's in the next apartment. They all listen to her and say they're going to go to the next apartment to catch the Portuguese girl and take a blood sample from her, which they need. Indeed, they go back to the next apartment and keep searching here and there for the Portuguese girl until suddenly they reach a water basin, and suddenly the Portuguese girl appears and grabs the commander, and the commander dies. Afterwards, the Portuguese girl disappears, but everyone keeps looking for her until she comes to them. At that moment, Owen tries to restrain her and take a blood sample, but Angela shoots her and finishes her off. Afterwards, Angela tells Owen to get them out of there, but Owen refuses and tells her she killed the Portuguese girl, and now he needs to know who exactly the devil is inside to take a blood sample. Otherwise, if the devil is inside someone and they don't know who it is, he can easily spread the plague again. At that moment, Angela loses control and kills Russo, then fights Owen and tells him he has to report outside so they can get out of that place, but Owen refuses. Angela laughs maniacally and tells him she's not Angela and that she can get out of there even without his help. Here we understand that the devil spreading the plague entered Angela's body, which explains how she's still alive even though we saw her die. The important thing now is that Angela kills Owen, takes his wire, and speaks to the police in Owen's voice, asking them to secure anyone leaving the building, which means the story isn't over yet. But we'll see in the summary of the second part how this devil will get out into the world. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos. See you next time.